welcome to the Ukrainian Toronto Television, and today we'll talk about the topic we've been...
There's something behind you.
What?
There's something behind you, turn around.
Oh, shit! Fuck!
What's that? What the fuck is that? Do I do something about it?
Okay. I have to do something. Did it go away?
No, it didn't go away. It's not going away. That's not how you do it, Mark. Like, seriously, it's staring at you. Like, it's right there. It's going to kill you.
Does this work?
No, it doesn't work like that. What are you? American Secret Service? This doesn't work.
It appears it does work like that, isn't it?
I guess so. I guess we just proved everybody in America's Secret Service intelligence and, just politicians, they were right. This works.
Yeah, nothing ever happens. I mean, wow. What a week. What a week again.
So yeah, this vivid performance for entertainment was here for a reason. This vivid illustration of American foreign policy and also domestic security policy, if you will. Today we're going to discuss something that we enjoy discussing all the time. First of all, an article published on none other than the Wall Street Journal and about none other than our favorite person in the whole world, Mark. Who is that?
Elon Musk.
And imagine, you know what? I can't believe I'm about to say it on the channel yet again. And it's like, it does not bring me any satisfaction anymore. But we were right. We were right all along. So this article, which has stirred some, feelings in America, I hope it did, is called Elon Musk's Secret Conversations with Vladimir Putin. I mean, I just give up at this point. Like, I give up.
It feels like Putin spends his all time just talking over the phone with major people, Americans. Yeah. He's just like talking to Americans all the time. Does he even speak Russian anymore? He's like...
Maybe he thinks he's American. I don't know. But yeah, apparently he does nothing else but sit on the phone with his best friends. So... and I love the lead on this story, the sentence below the name of the article. It says, regular contacts between world's richest man and America's chief antagonist raise security concerns. Topics include geopolitics, business, and personal matters. So they're like best friends. This raises certain concerns, if you will. It does. Again, on this channel, this isn't new. But there has been some, people have been scrutinized for saying that, Elon Musk is a Russian shill. Elon Musk is, taking Russian money. Russia's helping him. He's helping Russia online on his oldly purchased website, formerly known as Twitter. So everybody's been, yelling at the top of their lungs about this for months. And now, several current and former US and European, and Russian, officials have confirmed that they have been talking on a regular basis since late 2022.
Around the time, they started talking around the time Ukraine actually damaged Crimean breach, right?
And started Ukraine pushing back against Russians, yes.
Yeah, right when they alleged, so right at the same time when United States government thought that Russia will use nuclear weapons, Putin was calling Elon Musk, asking Elon Musk to help him with war in Ukraine, right? And Elon Musk, after that, Elon Musk made famous statements about how he thinks the war should end. I mean, with Ukrainian defeat, etc., etc. But yeah, it's funny. You know what makes me really, really angry about all this story with Elon Musk? We've been covering him for several years already. And
I would say we're experts on Elon Musk.
Yeah, and Elon Musk, in the title, on the back shot of our videos, doesn't give us views. I mean, we made videos about Elon Musk all the time, and the views are really low on his. Jordan Peterson give us great news. Tucker Carlson give us great news. This motherfucker, he's one of the most famous people on Earth, the richest person on Earth, and he doesn't give us views. So what I'm asking you, subscribe to our channel, comment on the video, and like this video so we get fucking views of this motherfucker.
Let's make Elon Musk famous.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only that we have to learn things about him, which we don't want to. It's
I really
don't even get views.
Really don't want this anymore.
Yeah. So please like and subscribe,
All
and
this
we will tell you a
is
great
for
story.
nothing. All this suffering is for nothing. Anyway, so Mark,
what's in that call? What's in those calls, Melania?
Before we even go to those calls, there's something even like without the calls that I want to mention at the very beginning of this video, Mark, and I think you will enjoy it. Not. So, let's work on this premise. There have been reports of Elon Musk regularly talking to Putin, who through his mouthpieces and cronies have yet again numerous times expressed his feelings about the United States and how, his state TV will always threaten Ukraine, threaten America. They want to nuke them, nuke Washington, all of that. Well, it's very important to understand that Elon Musk, who made these connections with Russians, is not just a business guy or just a regular business person or just a blogger on X. No, this guy has a very deep business ties with US military and US intelligence. It is very important because he has, and it states in the article, he has this unique visibility into some of America's most sensitive space programs. So SpaceX...
He has a high security clearance,
yes,
right?
SpaceX operates Starlink devices. They won a $1.8 billion classified contract in 2021, and they are the primary rocket launcher for Pentagon and NASA.
And that's only in 2021.
That's only 2021. So basically, when he started talking to Putin in 2022, he already had stuff, allegedly, to share. There's something that we need to keep in mind when we talk about this.
Yeah, he's been doing government contracts on SpaceX since the beginning of SpaceX, essentially. Like from 2004, 2005, 6, they've started doing governmental contracts, and that's their business, right? Most of their clients.
Again, this is the typical business model for Elon Musk, where he, I don't know, I keep calling him Elon Musk. I like it more. Let's just keep it that way.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Anyway, so, this is a typical business plan. He will do stuff that government would either procure or government will give him subsidies for, or this would become a part of critical infrastructure, like with Hyperloop. So, he knows how to take advantage of government and apparently more. Second thing that I wanted to tell you guys, and something that is to bear in mind, and this is, by the way, me throwing shade again at the American government, because guess what? They fucking knew. They knew he was talking to Putin guy, and they kept it a secret. Several White House officials said they weren't aware of them, but knowledge of Musk's family contacts appeared to be closely held secret in government. The topic is highly sensitive given Musk's increasing involvement in the Trump campaign and the approaching US presidential election less than 2 weeks away as of today. So they knew. They knew.
I remind you, like just several months ago, there was one guy who was detained for talking to Russian agent over internet. Another guy a couple of years ago was arrested with a lot of show for sharing some sensitive information over Discord. But none of them acted, did something. They shared information, which is bad enough. Elon Musk actually did something. Ukrainian military experienced a lot of issues with Starlink terminals right after those calls. So it's not just like they talked about, the world, the worldview. I don't know how to treat women or something. No. They talked about the use of militarily important stuff in advantage of bloody dictator.
Yeah, and before we even go into that, there's yet again a thing that should be kept in mind, and I don't know how these mofos in the US government let that slide, is that they couldn't do anything about it because they are so dependent on his technologies. I mean, satellites that are vital to American, infrastructure is one thing. But NASA relies on this guy to transport astronauts to and from the International Space Station. So they literally cannot do anything about him because the lives of a couple of people who are flying around planet Earth, God knows where in space, depend on his services. He doesn't even have to blackmail anybody. Nobody can do stuff because, well, Americans value the lives of their citizens, especially of that kind. So he has a perfect leverage. He could do whatever he wants, and he did. And he did. So this is something very important. This guy not only, bribed people, not only, probably, had to butter some, stuff up to make it easier for himself. No. He actually can blackmail American government with the safety and security of their personnel in fucking space. Would you ever, if this guy ever did, Mark, a tourist company that would promise to take you to space and back, will you ever fucking use their services? Huh?
Yeah, and it should be scary for everyone, especially Americans, because at one point, Putin asked the billionaire to avoid activating his Starlink satellite internet service over Taiwan as a favor to Chinese leader Xi Jinping, said two people briefed on the request, which is crazy. So now he serves not only Putin, he serves Xi Jinping. What's next? He will serve, I don't know, Iranian leader? What else? I mean, Hamas?
He's like this. He
doesn't fucking care.
Support line where you can call and be like, "Could you please?" And he's like, "Sure, whatever."
Sure, whatever. Do you have, I don't know, lithium kids?
Yeah, but so again, and it's not like it happened. Like it's not something irregular. Like for some reason, this guy chooses to talk to the weirdest guys. So he have already spent some time with some odious person like Javier Milei of Argentina and Jair Bolsonaro, a very questionable politician from Brazil. And, so that gang of people is, and again, she is a weird gang to be a part of. But coming back to Putin, it is especially interesting about who this guy would talk to and who he's friends with, when he was trying to establish his connection with Putin. So, a very, very high-ranking Russian official called Sergei Kiriyenko was among those people that Musk has talked to. He's Putin's first deputy chief of staff, and it is unknown what they've spoken about. But the U.S. Justice Department said in an affidavit that Kiriyenko had created some 30 internet domains to spread Russian misinformation, including on Musk's X, where it was meant to erode support for Ukraine and manipulate American voters ahead of the presidential election. So, don't mean to tell me that Musk, who is so concerned, again, remember this guy was like fighting disinformation when he first made X and all these bots.
He was fighting for freedom of speech, yeah.
Freedom of speech. So they talk, they do their thing, and then suddenly Kiriyenko creates all these domains and all that information is spread on X, just undeterred, just with zero repercussions and with zero problems. And after the invasion of 2022, Musk had first made some strong public statements about supporting Ukraine, hold strong Kyiv, all of that. Then he challenged Putin to one-on-one combat. Remember that cringe fest? And then he donated a couple of hundred Starlinks to Ukraine. And suddenly, later that year, something changed. First, in September, Ukrainian military was unable to use Starlink to the full of its ability to guide sea drones to attack Russian naval base in Crimea. Ukraine tried to persuade Musk to activate Starlink service in the area, but it didn't happen. And then his space company extended restrictions on the use of Starlink in offensive operations of Ukraine. He said that he did this because Starlink is meant for civilian use and that he believed any Ukrainian attack on Crimea could spark a nuclear war, which is very different rhetoric, after the one-on-one hand combat with Putin. and, you know, sending Starlinks to Ukraine, and then you decide that, wait, I decided, you know, skip it. Let's not do it. And this kind of coincided, according to this article, with certain pressure, which was both, as they say, private and public, from the Kremlin. In May 2022, Rogozin, main space guy in Russia, also a batshit crazy person, actually wrote in Telegram and said that Musk would answer like an adult for supplying Starlink to Ukraine's Azov battalion. And I mean, later that year, Musk started having all these talks with high-level Russian officials.
Yeah. So let's go back to Twitter part, because it's very important. Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter, he essentially became an oligarch because he started to control media, and one of the biggest media platforms in the United States. And when he bought it, we said that on this channel, which you should subscribe to, we said on this channel that he will going to let Russians use it for their propaganda. He will let Russians in. He will let Russians create their bot networks, etc., etc. And Sergei Kiriyenko is one of the people in Kremlin, in Russia, who oversees this effort. And they talk directly between one another. Like the person who's responsible for Russian propaganda online and the person who's responsible for letting Russian propaganda into one of the biggest platforms, which he bought. We also know that Russians actually participated in the purchase of Twitter, right? We just half a year ago, we had a report that there are people with Russian links, with deep Russian links, who actually gave money for purchase of Russian Twitter. Also, Saud is there and other. But there's so much things which lead us to very, very nasty thoughts about what Elon Musk is actually doing. It is unhinged, right? And right now, what Elon Musk is doing, Elon Musk is donating millions and millions of dollars to Donald Trump's campaign. He's actually running Donald Trump's campaign, outsourcing it Donald Trump outsourcing his campaign to Elon Musk, his America PAC. And Elon Musk is giving people money for registering and like allegedly voting for Donald Trump. Like he's giving $1 million a day for like in the lottery or something like that, which sounds illegal. We don't know American laws. Maybe it's completely legal. Maybe you can buy votes. Who cares? But this is what happens, right? It just looks like Elon Musk is acting like Russian asset. Is acting in media as a Russian asset. He is letting Russians to run Russian disinformation, misinformation campaigns in his media. He lets Russians, he helps Russians with services like Starlink. Russians are now getting Starlink first from somewhere, and it works in their hands for some reason. And SpaceX cannot do anything about it, you see. And he considers helping Xi Jinping with Taiwan. I mean, what the fuck? Any other person on Earth would be jailed by this time.
Yeah, and then something else to consider in this whole story is that I want to come back to the beginning of this discussion when we talked about how Elon Musk got all his government contracts and how did it actually happen that this guy got all this leverage and all these possibilities within American intelligence and military industry. Well, there was this representative. Again, I don't want to sound like this guy from a meme. This isn't a conspiracy. It's just facts, right? So have you ever heard a name, Dana Rohrabacher, Mark?
Never.
And it is very interesting why we hear about this name today. So he was a representative in Congress who was one of the first advocates for laws to help encourage a private space industry, something that, Elon Musk and his SpaceX is a product of. He introduced his first commercial space legislation as far back as 2004. Long story short, he's one of the people who actively lobbied and who actively pushed through to make SpaceX and all of these things happen. And this guy has some very particular views, if you will. Mark, you have found something interesting on that matter today.
Yeah. There's a thing online, Syria and Ukraine test. When a person says something stupid on Twitter, you search what he said about Syria in 2015-16 and what he said about Ukraine, and it's just it's lakmus test. This person will most probably support Assad, like one of the bloodiest dictator in Middle East, the worst person on earth, maybe after Putin, and then he will support Putin, or in some form will say that Ukraine does not deserve aid or something like that. So this guy, he's even worse. So he was an Assad supporter. He said that Assad is not our enemy, etc., which is obvious, right? He just gasses children en masse, right? Not really a bad guy, whatever. No. Yeah, and he was really pro-Russian even before it was like really popular, right? Even before Tucker Carlson's. It was in 2018, 2019. He expressed really pro-Putin. I mean, like who cared?
They called him Putin's favorite representative, like his entire career.
Yeah. So Kevin McCarthy, remember this
guy before Mike Johnson? Everybody forgot about already. Jesus.
Yeah. So the Speaker of House of Representatives in 2022-23. So this guy, he actually said a really funny thing. He said in 2016, he said, "There's two people I think Putin pays: Rohrabacher and Trump. Swear to God."
I mean, this is a hysterical laughter. It's not funny. It's fucking terrifying.
I mean, he's not a representative anymore. Although
Elon Musk has him to thank for all the goodies.
Yeah. So
and by the way, do you know? It's just like a fun fact. Like I think the name of it is a factoid or something. I don't know. But do you know who was Rohrabacher's intern in 1990? And who is his friend that threw him a huge fundraiser back in 2018?
Tell us.
Do you remember a private military company called Blackwater? Well, their founder, Eric Prince, was an intern for Rohrabacher in the 90s. Again, if you guys don't know what Blackwater is, this is going to be a way too long of a video for me to start saying that. But let's just say it's a private military company that at some point, American military private company that at some point decided to be a subcontractor for Wagner. Amazing, and all these guys are fucking friends, guys.
What about Peter Thiel? Is it the same group?
You know what? No, Peter Thiel is gay, so I don't think they invite him. I mean, I guess they wouldn't. Like, I don't know.
Jesus. Yeah.
So all these guys, all these fucking insane dudes who do crazy shit. They're all friends. I can't.
You know what I love and hate about all this story. So the people who love conspiracies the most will never look into.
No. This is
not a word about it on Joe Rogan podcast, right?
No, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. So the people who talk about conspiracies all the time, this thing is like over there on billboards in Wikipedia pages. It's that you don't have to hack anyone. They'll openly do this. and yet, yeah, not a word from our beloved conspiracy lovers.
Yeah, but this is like, by the way, if I were to speak about this, from this like a very neutral standpoint, this is just like so interesting. This is an actual very interesting conspiracy. So imagine you have a representative who actually fathered, if you will, like in 1990s still. So there is no such thing, as Ukraine-Russia war. Putin is not president. Everything is so different. You can't blame stuff on Obama and the libs yet. Like, it's entire world in 1990s. This random guy, for some reason that I don't know and probably nobody ever know, becomes an intern at a representative's office who actively lobbies for the worst things that happen in military-wise against the civilian population in the world, like ever. This guy is a representative in America for years. Nobody fucking cares about that. He starts introducing legislation that privatizes, for instance, space travel and space industries, and lets people, loosen some of the control that the government has over these industries. And then years later, 30 goddamn years later, Elon Musk is calling a Russian dictator to discuss these things to help that Russian dictator genocide the entire country. And this isn't, Joe Rogan would have a time of his life, but no.
Yeah. So,
this isn't, but this ain't Pizzagate. This ain't calling Hillary Clinton a pedo. No, this isn't as interesting as imagining that there is a just pedophile ring in a pizza place. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, wait a second. So he works to privatize space industry, and then the main guy in privatized space industry gets indoctrinated by Russian president. I mean, it's like it sounds like a mad plan. I don't think it's on purpose, to be honest. But
I really don't know.
Just Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, that's enough. That's enough for today. No, one more thing. The worst thing about this all is we now know that American intelligence and American politicians, American government actually know about all this stuff, know that this person commits treason, I guess, right? Allegedly, and do nothing about that because they're afraid and they don't want to do anything. They prefer to just.
I just want to quote two tweets, for the end of this video that I found today that I was endlessly entertained by. I mean, the first one was in the replies to the information we've told you about. I mean, people have been tweeting about this all day. And this user from Twitter goes, "I don't get it. Have our intelligence agencies dropped the ball or are they complicit? This seems like some serious shit." And I go, really? Wow. Like, you're starting to notice. Yeah. They either dropped the ball or they're complicit. And, Americans should fucking, look into it because this ain't good, bro. And then this other person who I relate so deeply to, his name is Dave Troy, and he's an investigative journalist. He wrote, "Seeing everyone wake up to Musk's treachery is nothing short of surreal. To be howling in the wilderness about him for the last 4 years and have people waking up after voting has already begun is terrifying, poetic, and a uniquely American horror story." And Dave, there isn't a tweet in the world that I relate more to at this point.
Also, it's not Eric who should do things, right? It's not we who should do things. There's actually most powerful government in the world, which
people
can
are actually
and
paid
should,
to do this.
Yeah, and people pay taxpayer money goes to this government for it to function and to protect itself and the people from treacherous motherfuckers like this guy, right? Dipshits, as they've been called recently.
By Waltz, by the way, he called him a dipshit.
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a on these things. You know it.
I don't think that's what, but it's a completely random tangent, but I don't think That's what Tim Walz's communication managers meant when they told him not to call Republicans weird. Like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna call him dipshit now. It's funny.
No, but they should call them what they are. But this, again, yeah. So, nah.
Yeah, it's yet another video about Elon Musk's, and yet another video that is called Melania and Mark have been right all along.
Sad. See you next week.
Bye.